Could I ask you all to take your seats so that we can begin? I'm going to have to ask the town clerk to call the roll.
John Donovan. Michael Hurley.
Here.
Jay Lipp.
Here.
Gaylord Meyer. Eric Sundman. Pete Ambrose. Catherine Burstein. Nathaniel Schindler. Jeff Steele.
Yes.
Keith Varian. Ed Bateson.
Here.
Laura Devlin. Hank Ferentz.
Here.
Dave McKenzie.
Here.
Mary McCollough.
Here.
Heather Dean.
Present.
Joe DiMartino.
Here.
Bill Gerber.
Here.
Joe Palmer.
Here.
Cindy Waldron.
Here.
Bill D'Amica.
Here.
Josh Garskoff.
Here.
Lauren O'Brien.
Here.
Ruth Smay. Carol Way.
Here.
Julie Gottlieb.
Here.
Alan Marks.
Here.
Sheila Marmion.
Here.
Jay Walk. Liz Ezema.
Here.
Jen Hochberg.
Here.
Kevin Hopkins. Eric Newman.
Here.
Phil Pierce.
Here.
Hal Schwartz.
Here.
Kathy Braun. Alex Durrell. Jason Lee.
Here.
Tom McCarthy.
Here.
Jeff Milragno.
Here.
Pam Iacono.
Here.
Ellen Jacob. Laura McCardle.
Here.
Carol Pontrelli. Chris Timniak.
Here.
Brian Caffarelli.
Here.
Brian Farnan.
Here.
Ray Newberger. William Perugini.
Here.
Bruce Ryan.
Here.
Thank you. Could I ask you all to join me by rising to say the Pledge of Allegiance and then stand for a moment of silence to remember all those that we've lost in the last year, especially those members of our uniformed services that keep our communities and our country safe. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The first item we're going to consider tonight is item number 2, to act upon the minutes of the regular meeting of November 25th. I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Representative Dean, seconded by Representative Lee. Any comments or questions regarding the minutes? Seeing none. Oh, I'm sorry. Representative Way. Could I ask you to step to the microphone, please? Thank you.
It's really just a little editing, where it says that I talked to Cupville Avenue is really Kings Highway East with I-Brown Brothers and Miller and Son. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Ladies and gentlemen, you have to turn the microphone when you come up, okay?
Thank you, Jerry. Any other comments or edits to the minutes of November 25th? Seeing none, can we go to a vote? All accept as presented with that change? I'll say in favor. Say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Let's move on to item number 3. I see Mr. Mears is in the audience tonight. We are here to consider and act upon the reappointment to the Employees Retirement Board as recommended by the First Selectman. Michael Mears, Republican from 44 Bay Edge Court. Michael, if you would be pleased to join us at the microphone. Since we did not have committee meetings this month, could you please tell us a little bit about your service and why you want to continue on this body?
Sure. I've served 2 years on the board. I've added a lot of value to the board, proposing a lot of allocation changes, such as changing 2% that we've paid in allocation to an SP 500 fund. I have 20 years financial experience in the industry, and I specialize in risk and finance and fixed income. The pension board needed a lot of people with finance experience on it from before, and I have a huge understanding of risk and finance. Sorry, I'm trying to read my notes here. The understanding of risk as well as risk allocation, and the pension fund is in order to this day after 2 years serving on it due to the achievements of the first selectman and the changes in the board. If this body would like me to serve another 2 years, I'd be honored to actually do it. I find it enjoyable and encourageable, and we've been able to change the board into something of financial stability and a growth fund that has actually matured and done well over the past 2 years.
Thank you.
If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer any.
Mr. Mears has done a great job serving on this, but, and I hope you smile when I point this out, the term is for 5 years.
Oh. 5 years is fine. It's an honor to be on there. Thank you.
Any questions from the body for Mr. Mears? Thank you, Mr. Mears.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to accept Representative Ambrose, Representative Gottlieb. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Congratulations. I would like to move on to item number 4. And just for the record, I'll entertain a motion, but I do know that Mr. Baker will not be here tonight, and nor will Phoebe Kaler from item 6. Representative Schwartz.
Madam Moderator, House Schwartz, District 7. In light that both appointees are not here, I'd like to make a motion to postpone items 4 and 5 to a date certain, which would be the January 27th meeting.
Would you include item 6?
If you'd like, I can, sure.
Thank you.
Make that items 4, 5, and 6 postponed to a date certain, which would be January the 27th.
I have a second to that. Yes. Mr. Foster. Well, our first complication. I understand, and I apologize, Mr. Foster is here, who's being a new appointment to the Harbor Management Commission. Last week, we thought we would not be hearing this item this evening. We all have had Mr. Foster's resume to review. If you so would entertain, we could split that item off.
Well, I think maybe the first thing we do is move items 4 and 6.
Thank you.
So how about we make the motion to move items 4 and 6 to a date certain, which would be January 27th.
Thank you.
And then we'll make the motion to split item 5 into the 3 individual representatives. So I got
Okay.
like 3 motions on the floor.
A second? Representative McCarthy. Any questions on that procedure? All right, all in favor of postponing item number 4 and item number 6 to our January meeting? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Now, item number, I would like to entertain a motion for item number 5. Representative Ambrose.
I'd like to move to split item number 5 to postpone the appointment for Cheryl Beacock and Harry French to a date certain, January 27th, and to take up the matter of Mark S. Foster.
Representative Ambrose, I was just informed that we had a mistaken identity in the audience. Mr. Foster
I withdraw my motion.
not with us, so let's just
I'd-
draw.
Therefore, I make a motion that we move all the appointments under Article 5 to a date certain, January 27th.
Thank you. I have a second. Representative Lee. Any questions on that? We're on a roll. All in favor of postponing item number 5 to our January meeting, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions. Thank you very much. Well, that brings us to item number 7, which is to hear and consider and act upon the following reappointment to the Historic District Commission as recommended by the Board of Selectmen. And that would be Timothy H. Smith from 65 Vernon Hill Road. And the term is for 5 years, November 13th to November of 18. Mr. Smith will join us at the microphone.
Thank you. I'm Mr. Mistaken Identity, I think. I'm being reappointed. I've had one term 5 years, and then I've served prior to that for 2 years, so I'm really, I think, in the game for 7 years, and this will be for another 5-year term. I live up in Greenfield Hill, not in the Historic District area. As you know, there are 3 of them, and the work is interesting. I have a background in art and architecture. In college, I spent my career in the chemical business, which obviously has nothing to do with it, but I'm a lifelong resident of Fairfield, and we find the work interesting, controversial, and I think worth a lot to the town.
Thank you. Any questions from members of the body for Mr. Smith? Seeing none. Any members of the audience have any questions? Seeing none, back to the body. Would all those in favor of accepting Mr. Smith's reappointment to the Historic District Commission, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Mr. Smith, and thank you very much for your service. Now, I do see presenters for this item in the room. The next item is item number 8, and to hear, consider, and act upon the following resolutions as recommended by the Board of Finance. Resolved that funds be transferred from an increase in grant revenue in the amount of $5,675 to cover the cost of programs sponsored by Fairfield Cares Community Coalition, Fairfield's local preventative council, which develops alcohol, tobacco, and other drug abuse prevention initiatives, and further resolved that the first selectman is authorized to make, execute, and approve on behalf of the town of Fairfield any and all contracts or amendments thereof with the Regional Youth Adult Substance Abuse Program, RISAP. These costs are 100% reimbursable by a July 1, 2013 through June 30th, 2014 State of Connecticut Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services grants to local preventive councils administered by RISAP. Our presenters this evening are Selectman McCarthy Vahey and Mrs. Bentavegna. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Moderator, and my apologies to you for the confusion on mistaken identity. I would like to, first of all, welcome all the new members. I didn't do that last time, and say I look forward to working with you for the next 2 years. I also want to introduce Wendy Bentavegna, who is here with me today. I will be doing the presenting. She is here to help answer any questions that you might have as well. You had a double-sided backup in your packets, but just briefly want to go through some background and history. From 1998 to 2012, ACT was the first Selectmen's Committee tasked solely with administering this essentially $5,700 grant that required a local prevention council, known as the LPC, a lot of acronyms. Over the years, ACT both coordinated and supported prevention programs. In recent years, you may remember mini grants that were awarded to community applicants by ACT. This group met quarterly, and membership included town employees and community members. Over time, it became more difficult for the First Selectman's office to retain members on that group. In 2009, a separate task force was formed by the former First Selectman and Superintendent under the name Fairfield Cares Task Force on Alcohol and Health. This group was formed essentially to address what was then increasing rates of alcohol use by Fairfield teens. In 2012, it became clear that it made sense for Fairfield Cares, the task force, and ACT to merge into one group, bringing together diverse sectors of the community. So the former members of ACT folded into Fairfield Cares, and the group was renamed the Fairfield Cares Community Coalition. It currently has a very active membership of over 25 members, again, of various sectors of the community: law enforcement, library, public health, education, community members, and meets monthly. After this group was reformed, the First Selectman then designated that group as that community coalition, of which Wendy and I are co-chairs, as the Fairfield's Local Prevention Council, thereby making it eligible to receive this $5,675 grant. This group is really now in the best position to determine the allocation of these funds. So it's the same grant that has been coming through before, previously under ACT, that is now being administered by Fairfield Cares Community Coalition. To clarify, the grant itself, it's a DEMIS, the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services state block grant, which is then given to our Regional Action Council, RIASAP. I warned you there were a lot of acronyms here. And there are 13 of those in the state. RIASAP then takes their portion of the block grant and individually allocates it to each of its member communities based on a population formula established by the state. We have been granted $5,675. These funds are to be used to develop specific prevention strategies that must be used in order to qualify for the grant. Those are outlined in the bottom paragraph of the front page of the handout in your packet. The back page of the handout goes through what the funds are going to be used for, and it outlines those pretty specifically. Broad categories: tobacco prevention activities, which are required by the grant, substance abuse prevention efforts, community prevention activities, and publicity, because what we know today about our young people is that we need to get the word out to them through social media and other means so that we can be talking to them and to their parents and those who care about them in the community. So with that, I am happy to entertain any questions, as is Ms. Bentavegna.
Any questions from members of the body? Any questions from members of the audience? All right, back to the body. Can I have a motion to accept the item? Representative Hurley, Representative Hochberg. Thank you. All those in favor of accepting, I'm sorry, shall I read the item to you? Okay. All in favor of accepting item 8, the grant, the RISAP grant of $5,675, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 9. To hear, consider, and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the town attorney. Resolved that the conveyance by warranty deed from Special Properties 12 LLC to the town of Fairfield of a certain lot known as all that certain piece or parcel of land situated in the town of Fairfield, county of Fairfield, and state of Connecticut, being shown and designated as Lot Number 1, open space, 2.88 acres plus acres on map entitled Four Winds Map showing subdivision of land in Fairfield, Connecticut, prepared for Peter S. Buckley, Joel S. Buckley, and Special Properties, the 12th LLC, dated February 26, 2001, revised to June 1, 2009, said map having been prepared by the Huntington Company, LLC, and recorded in the office of the Town Clerk of Fairfield as map number 7552, to be used for open space purposes pursuant to the subdivision regulations of the Town of Fairfield, is hereby accepted. And presenting on this item tonight is our Town Attorney, Stanton Lesser.
Evening all. Congratulate you all on your elections or re-elections, as the case may be. In your handout, you should have received a memo from me together with I think a small map and a copy of the deed by which this property is being transferred to the town. Just real briefly, as you may know, our subdivision regulations provide that if you have a piece of property that's either more than 4 acres or going to be subdivided into 5 or more lots, you have to dedicate some of that space to the town as open space. This case goes back 10 years when the subdivision was applied for, and it went through the processes here. It went to court, it went to the appellate court, and apparently it was settled during the pendency of the appeal. A copy of the stipulation is attached. It should have been in your package. The part that we're concerned about is the part that requires the developer to give this piece to the town. So we're getting a piece that's 2.844 acres. It's to be used as open space. There's a warranty deed that's been prepared. I've also been given a copy of a title policy we're going to get, title insurance. And our subdivision regulations require that this piece be accepted by the RTM. That's why I'm here tonight. Tom Steinke, who's our conservation director, and whose body will have control or manage this piece, is here to answer questions that you might have also. But I would also be happy to answer any questions that you have. All right. Yeah, it is.
Are there any questions for Representative Bates?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Ed Bates in District 3. Through you to the Town Attorney. I see that this is basically a settlement. When it comes to something like this, accepting real property in a settlement, does this need to be approved by the Board of Selectmen?
No, it does not.
Because it carries the weight of the planning and zoning?
We're getting this piece under our zoning regulations, and they set out a procedure by which the property is taken by the town.
So
That's
therefore,
what we're following.
the real property provisions of the town code are removed from that because it's planning and zoning?
Correct.
Okay. In your opinion, designation of use for us accepting it, do you want something more specific, such as passive? It doesn't say anything in the resolution.
No, but I think the deed itself, let me just, yeah, the deed, I think, provides for passive.
And that's what you're recommending this body, that it be used for passive?
That's what was recommended originally, I think, and Tom Steinke can probably talk further about that.
And if it's under passive, Tom, would that stay under your department? Sorry, Madam Moderator, through you, I guess, to Mr. Stanke.
Tom Steinke, Conservation Director. The answer is Schedule A. The here and conveyed property premises here and conveyed shall be forever utilized for passive open space uses only.
And just to clarify that, in the Schedule A, which is the legal description of the property, if you look, the second paragraph of that, right, that's where it says passive open space.
And that would be managed or supervised by the Conservation Department?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Representative Dean, District 4. Through you, Madam Moderator, to Mr. Stanke. This property you're receiving is free of all hazards. That there's no hidden oil containers. There's nothing in there that we have to clean up the property. It's clear, clean.
It is my belief that that is correct. I've inspected the property before it was disturbed, before demolition of the residence, during demolition, afterward, during the development of the subdivision, and was out most recently last week, and did not find any hint or any sign, anything that would, and I've been over this property quite thoroughly, that would indicate to me that there is any contamination or anything associated with it.
Thank you.
Any further questions from the body? Any questions from the public? Comments? Seeing none, we're going to vote on item number 9. To hear, consider, and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the town attorney. Resolved that the conveyance of warranty deed from Specialty Properties to 12th LLC to the town of Fairfield be accepted as presented. All in favor? Say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Representative Ambrose. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Stanke. Next item on the warning is to hear, consider, and act upon the establishment of a committee on redistricting in accordance with Section 2.6A(2) of the Town Charter. Do I have a motion from the body? Representative Schwartz. Seconded by Representative Bateson. Any questions on this item? Easy tonight. No questions from, any comments from the floor here? No? Okay. We're going to vote on this item. All in favor of accepting as written, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Item passes. Item number 11, to hear, consider, and act upon the establishment of a special committee to review Article 3 of Chapter 95, tax relief for elderly and disabled homeowners in accordance with Section 95-15.4 of the Code of the Town of Fairfield. I have a motion to accept the item on the call of Representative Dean. Representative Ferentz. Any questions from members of the body? Any comments from the audience? All right, back to the body. We have a motion that's been seconded to hear, consider, and act upon the establishment of the tax relief for the elderly and disabled homeowners. All in favor by signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. All right, item number 12. Consider and act upon any other matters presented to said meeting and which may be properly acted upon under the rules of the representative town meeting. I see none. Congratulations. Congratulations. First, I want to say thank you all for your attendance, not only tonight, but your attention to the details. Thank you. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Representative Marmion, Representative Peregrine. All in favor? Thank you.